And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynch, this is Dysfunction Junction.
We are glad you are with us today. Yes, and Matt Marsh. We're glad you are here with us today because here we are.
Walter. That was Walter.
Yeah, it was probably Walter.
He must have shit on the floor where I can't see him, little bastard.
That was you, Herm.
Huh?
Herm took a nice Cleveland steamer right on the. Herm took a big shit right on the
I haven't
floor.
eaten enough in the last 2 days to make a pile that big. I gotta be honest.
I can attest to that.
We are not getting back on the food discussion. No, we are not. If I gotta throw the red flag on this.
3 weeks of eating bad, and I was freaking, oh my God.
Well, as I was saying,
wow,
here we are.
Pungent. That is very pungent.
Face to face. A couple of silver spoons.
Can you grab
looking
some
to
spray?
give you our favorite 80s sitcoms tonight while Herm's looking for the spray. You don't need it's got to be bad if Herm's retro.
Were we doing sitcoms or regular shows?
You can do regular shows if you like. I just kind of went with sitcoms because I didn't like a whole lot of other shows in the 80s. Demon Dog.
How big the poop is right there. That's the size of the poop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this marks my last episode.
It's been nice working with you.
Yeah,
Not
thank you.
Nice to make it smell good.
Like to thank you guys for the better part of 3 years of non-dog shit talk, and let's let the dog shit continue. Welcome.
Oh, we were talking about human shit earlier.
Oh, we were definitely doing the human thing. We were talking about our own and how it relates
the
to
differences
diet.
between a junk diet and a high fiber diet, and how it did the opposite of what you'd expect.
Yeah, and high value.
You know, I'm gonna take a picture of my shit in the morning and send it to you guys.
No, I don't know.
Marty on
to look at it. We were just talking about volume and as it relates to and for Chris, he never finished it. Fuck yeah. But we we're
I didn't get a chance to fucking finish. Welcome to Dysfunction Junction.
Fuck yeah.
Shit yeah.
Chris, Matt, and Herm. He doesn't deserve the big intro today. Fuck him. Herm, I like your sweater.
Thank you.
Did you get the matching purse? Did you get the matching purse to go with it, fag?
I got the purse. I got the fucking wallet too. I don't fuck around.
Nice. Nothing beats a fuzzy wallet. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I've had a few fuzzy wallets. Had a few fuzzy wallets in my time. Yeah.
You want to put?
That's what I called my girlfriend in high school.
I was just gonna say, Jen's like, "You want to put something in my fuzzy wallet?" Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she gets pissed when you throw quarters in there.
For real. Her make it hail.
Good Christ. Anybody got any
can I
quick
break
hits?
this 5?
I'm about had it.
So apparently,
I own Canada. I own Greenland. Lynch is taking over Canada. I figure we can put Matt in charge of
Panama Canal.
militarily taking over Panama. His
That's
new
gonna be hard.
nickname is.
I've already been there.
You know what I mean?
Matt's already got a position in the Chris Burns administration when I become president.
I do. I'm a grandfather.
But yeah, apparently Trump said, "Fuck it." Apparently, world domination. He wants to own everything. Apparently, I guess we're gonna change.
Well, do you know where this started?
Change to the Gulf. He wants to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That's how.
That is the dumbest shit I ever heard.
Like, and he said it. Like, it's not even.
I
Like,
know.
Look, dude. If he admitted he smoked weed, it was like, dude. Because
it's like touching more of us than it is Mexico, man.
Not just Mexico. It's like all of Texas and the Florida. Call it the Gulf of Mexico. What do you say? I'm down with it. Somebody write a bill up. Pass this to fucking.
All right. See, you know where
John.
Yeah,
you know where the Greenland thing started, right?
No.
Denmark has basically political control of Greenland, and Greenland's had enough. And they're opening the door to negotiation to become a U.S. territory. Now, the way it was brought out by the orange soon-to-be commander-in-chief, the Mango Mussolini himself, the Mango Mussolini made it sound like we're just going to go in and take it. Not that there's a negotiation to become a territory. Not that they want to, have more trade with us. The way the Greenland, what is his name, the Chancellor or something or other. He's not he's not the Grand Ruler, but he's the yeah. He's like, we'd like to have more rule like the Americans have versus this Denmark thing where we get nothing out of it and they get everything, and we're going to open up negotiations.
And we're just going to take that shit over. Like,
yeah,
we're just going to assume the loan, and we're good. It's all set. We're good.
Go ahead, Lynch, please.
He brought this up during his first administration, and Greenland told him to go fucking pound sand.
Yeah, Greenland said, hey,
now flash.
What's going on?
Now we're 8 years later.
Almost 10 years now. Almost 10 years later now.
He's back on that.
So Greenland has a lot of natural. Greenland has a lot of natural resources that are very valuable. But the main reason that we as a country would actually want Greenland is militarily, because it's in a perfect position, right where it sits geographically, and it's good for protection for us.
Yeah,
I don't think
we can touch everything in Europe and Russia and China from Greenland. It's pretty much what we can hit anywhere on the globe we need to, pretty much.
As ridiculous as it sounds from a strategic point of view, it does make militarily it makes sense. I don't want another country that we're gonna have to babysit. I mean, Chris, just I'm for making Puerto Rico the 51st state and saying fuck it, get it over with. I mean, you're already born down there, you're already an American.
Look, there's a completely way to do the Greenland thing, and to be like, look, we'd like to open some trade. We'd like to talk some stuff. Let's talk about your strategic value as a position for us. Let's work out a deal, okay? And that's how you've got to put it, even better than I just put it, way better. But not like, look, I think we're gonna take Greenland just because it's I think it might be on the market, and we're gonna pick it up.
Yeah, the way it was presented by old Mangolio.
And if they don't want to give up the Panama Canal, we'll just take it. I'm like, holy shit.
the way he's brought these things up, it smacks very much the way. And I know Herm was being joking when he did it.
Look like everybody said you were all Hitlery.
Like he was doing it like an episode of Sopranos. Look, if they don't want to do business, we're gonna do business for them.
We'll take it. Fuck.
I understand where the Chancellor of Greenland is coming from. We've had enough of Denmark. Go fuck yourself. We're going to open up the door to talks with the United States. And then, of course, the Mango Mussolini comes in and makes it sound like it's just going to be a business acquisition. It's not. There are laws. You have to jump through hoops. You're not just going in, I bought this Dairy Queen. It's the best Dairy Queen. But the way, and I've said this to everybody. Trump was a decent president first run. It's not so much what he does, it's the stupid shit he says that makes people go, are you fucking serious? And it sucks.
I don't think it's a great thing to, but let's get the shit squared between the two coasts here on mainland USA before we start thinking about taking over another fucking country or making it a territory. If you're going to make something a territory, make Puerto Rico a fucking state. So they all pay income tax just like the fucking rest of us. They're already American citizens if they're born there. So they're reaping that benefit already. Let's get something financially and fiscally out of them instead of just being big brother. Let's make it. You're my adopted son now. You are now a state.
Look at me. I'm your captain now.
I'm your captain now. If you want to adopt Greenland further down the road, fine. But let's get shit squared away in our country first before we start taking other fucking headaches.
Oh, absolutely.
And Herm said it best. He's like showing his dementia right now. It's
unfortunate.
Shit's gonna hit the fan, and it already has hit the fan. I don't foresee the transition of power going smoothly.
As of yesterday, it did.
Trump. I think I see a couple speed bumps in the way, and I think the biggest fuck you to Trump was the offshore drilling
I saw that
ban. That was a dick move by Biden.
Yeah,
because already he's going to impacts the economy to a certain extent with the oil resources, but it's more of an exploratory that they're banning. Wherever we're current. But I mean, there's more untapped resources out there, and if the country still wants to keep fossil fuel vehicles running, we're going to need to find more, because guess what? Coming up real soon, we're going to run out of coal. Not in our generation. We're gonna die before that happens.
Good.
Well,
I'm
all right. So we're
with that. I got to be honest.
Oh, I'm fine with it too, but they better find a fucking alternate source to fire these coal-fired power plants that they still run in the fucking country. Let's go back to nuclear. It works. It's clean. It's safe.
Yeah. I mean, get past, and I know somebody's going to bring up, well, there's nuclear meltdowns at these plants. Once in a blue moon. Is it devastating? Yes. Is it something that's going to happen when you have a power source that is, it's stable, but it's unstable at the same time? You're going to have these problems, but you want to talk about, well, we're running out of natural resources and hug a tree and do this. Well, this is the way to do it. And people still want to cry the fucking blues. Go ahead, Marsh. You were making a point.
Yeah.
No, the biggest danger with a nuclear power plant. I mean, most people have just huge misconceptions about meltdowns and the concept of like a terrorist attack with a nuke plant. It's not. I mean, you could do a whole show on it. It's not worth getting into here.
Oh yeah, because you can look up. One Google search will tell you how many nuclear reactor meltdowns have happened in the last 50 years, and you can count them on one hand.
Well, I spent 5 years working.
It's not actually their danger anymore. Legitimately, it's their strategic target value.
It's the target value, yes. and like the other misconception with nuclear has to do with the fuel, and it's like spent nuclear fuel, which is why it's guarded 24/7. But because you can use it to make dirty bombs. But as far as the rest of it, I mean, the way these plants are designed, I mean, the domes at the plant, that I worked at was designed to take a hit from a 747. I mean, these things there's just a lot of misinformation about it, and like Lynch said, it's a very safe form of energy. And the accidents that have happened have been not just like singular human.
I was going to say human error to
it. Not just human error, but like multi-level human error I mean, those things are designed, whether it was ours or Russia, there's multiple, things in place, and they just were ignored, straight down the line. It's not like, oh my God, how did this happen? I mean, going back to 3 Mile Island, it just, like I said, there's a lot to it. It's very interesting. There's a lot to it.
I am.
There's so many fail safes in place, and it took.
It's huge.
Just the right amount of poor timing for all those fail safes to fail in those incidents.
Quite honestly,
anything happened in Chernobyl.
Yeah, and granted, that was there was a lot of human error, but I mean the only legitimate nuclear disaster that wasn't human error related was Fukushima, and that had to do with the freaking an act of God.
That was the earthquake. There wasn't much they could have done about that.
No, there's not. But I mean,
meltdowns. If you live near a nuclear plant, that's everybody's number one. Is it could melt down in our whole whatever. You've heard it. We've all heard it. But if you want clean energy, you sometimes have to give up a little bit to get what you want. And nuclear is the cleanest energy there is, bar none.
It is.
Yep.
So stop crying and hugging the trees and whatever. Fuck off. I'm in a mood. So are you Silver Spoons ready to do this?
Yeah, man.
All right. So there was a slight miscommunication. It might be on my part. I don't know. I thought we were doing sitcoms, but Mark said he's got
sitcoms. 80s TV I can do on the fly, so I'm good to go.
All right, then. So let me see. Matt, what's your birth year?
1974.
Herm.
73.
Lynch.
72.
All right, and I'm 72 as well. So we're going to let Marsh start based on being the youngest member of the panel with his, you can go in any order you want. Doesn't have to be 1 to 5, 5 to 1. I've got 5 choices and 4 honorable mentions, so I'm good to go.
Ooh, put me on the spot. Okay. I am going to hit the list. I'm going to start with a childhood favorite was Different Strokes.
Ooh, made my list, but We'll talk about
Yep.
it.
Different Strokes. A lot of my stuff from the 70s. I got to dial that back. Because you grow up on the stuff and you think it's new, and it's not till later on you realize that it's 20 years old and it's syndication. Like Good Times,
Yeah.
that was a big one, but that was in the 70s. So I got to eliminate that in my Sanford and Sons and even my Welcome Back Kotter, I think.
Well,
But,
didn't Sanford run? No, it didn't. No, fuck. Never mind.
No, there were spinoffs, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But as far as ones that I watched like regularly as a kid, I would have to go with Silver Spoons was a big one.
Oh, he's just throwing the whole list out there. Go, run.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing.
No, you go. I'm having
Are we
fun with it.
round
Go.
robbing it? That would be easier, but
Usually, yeah.
okay, go ahead.
All right, Different Strokes. So that would put Herm next on the list. We're just going to go, bottom of the top right now.
I like the Cosby Show.
You know what? I still like the Cosby Show.
So do I.
It was good shit. It was funny.
It's still funny.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, he's lost the American Dad factor, but it's still funny.
Yeah. I put Cosby at my number 5 because they watered it down so much on the way out.
Oh, yeah.
When, hey, we lost a character. Let's get Cousin Pam. Hey, Rudy's not little anymore. Let's get this other little fucking kid. It just became, it was the Cousin Oliver effect. And it just became not funny anymore.
No.
Except for when Theo graduated college and they all go and he's at NYU and they're so proud of him to say, and now the class of whatever year, and they all stand, the people stand up, they wave, they sit back down, and Cliff was, is that it? That's how you graduate? Here, watch, I'm going to graduate. See, I'm going to graduate again. And he just keeps standing up, and Claire's like, will you just get the fuck out of here? Wait, I'm graduating. But yeah, that show, Herm, I'm with you. I could see Cosby reruns now on YouTube because mainstream television is not going to play them anymore.
I watch clips of it on Facebook.
Oh yeah, all the time, and they're still funny. Anything in the first 6 seasons were hilarious. And as a kid, the thing I loved the most was at the beginning of each new season, you got the new intro.
Yeah,
you wanted to see that.
But what really resonated with me with it too, even
it was like every couple of seasons or every time. Yeah, they changed the intro.
But the fact of how when the kids fucked up, both of those parents, unlike today, weren't afraid of disciplining the kids. I mean, It was like a fuck. I mean, those kids were in trouble constantly and getting grounded and all kinds of shit.
And it was weird because it would start out where Cliff was the hammer. And then eventually Claire would get hot and she'd start rolling up her sleeves and taking off her earrings. Like, oh, no, I know you did not just say that to me. And you see Cliff just put his head in his hands.
I mean, Claire would get scary.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't want her. I would love to have her as the mom in my life, even though I love my mother to death.
Right.
But, yeah, that's not one you want to piss off.
No.
Great fucking choice. That was also my number 5. So, Lynch, it's up to you to bring this one home.
One of my favorite shows that I watched consistently was Newhart.
Woo!
Yeah. So I am at a huge disadvantage when it comes to 80s television because I didn't watch a lot of it. I did not watch a lot of TV when I was a kid. I only watched what my parents watched.
I was just going to say that. That's kind of where my TV... It's
kind of where...
I had old reruns from the 70s. And then maybe once or twice a week, I got to watch something if they liked it. My parents liked the Cosby Show, so it was on. But I other than that, it's kind of tough for me. Like everything from the 70s is awesome, and then everything later is good. But like that whole early
take your pill.
Hello.
It's tough.
Yvonne calling. Well, for me, when I was a real little kid, my dad used to like the Bob Newhart show when he was a psychiatrist. So I watched that, and then when the Newhart show came on, that was appointment television. He watched it every week live. Didn't record it. When he was doing, he took time to watch because he loved Bob Newhart.
That show was always an after I went to bed show.
Yeah, that wasn't
right. I only heard some of that show as I was a little older and went to bed late enough to still hear it while they were watching it in bed. So I never watched that show until it actually went into reruns and syndication.
I
So
wasn't
I
really
was-
amused by it.
That was a show that my dad let me watch with him, and then I would go to bed because it was a 9 o'clock start. But yeah, because most of my '80s viewing habits were, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, so it was whatever was on Saturday or Sunday afternoons on the Cowboy Channel, or
I think that's the way.
whatever old Elvis movie happened to be playing on one of the
Yes.
affiliate,
Or there was a creature, yes, or there was a
Creature
creature,
Double
or the Creature double feature.
I might have been watching it downstairs. He might have been watching boxing upstairs, or CBS Wild World of
The
Sports.
Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. Those were on all the fucking time.
a bunch of spaghetti westerns. Movies with black and white with guys that have been dead longer than I've been alive.
Yep.
A Bad Day at Black Rock.
Good movie.
Shit like that. Audie Murphy movies. That was my childhood mostly.
Audie Murphy. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Audie Murphy. No, that's one of mine on my list. Newhart.
All right. I have a feeling, and just to reiterate the point, a lot of us, in the '80s, until we were teenagers, we didn't choose what we saw on television. Like Herm said, like everybody's pointed out, this is shit our parents watched and we liked, and we've held on to it. And
Prime time wasn't for us. Prime time wasn't for us. That was
right.
We didn't start that TGIF
TGIF
until you started getting to like 227 and shit like that.
Family Matters
Amen.
and shit.
Family
Yeah.
Matters.
Amen.
What did you say?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. With the deacon.
Yeah.
The deacon.
With, George Jefferson.
Yeah. The deacon.
Yep.
He was the deacon. But yeah, that shit. There was all kinds of other shit. But like
Nice
80s
mug.
shows I can
Thanks.
get, but like sitcoms.
Most of the sitcoms on my list I picked off in syndication because, like you said, when you're younger, bedtime
Yeah,
comes first and these come after. But just in going back and, somebody mentions the show and you're like, I'm going to go rewatch that shit. It's on a streaming service.
Like,
And
for
you
me-
remember how awesome it was the few times you actually got to see it.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
when
for me, it
Batman
would be more
came
like,
on.
the Amazing Stories series.
Oh, I like the Amazing Stories.
Now I was able to watch that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
That was on Sunday. It was at the right time. I was just old enough. So
But I remember seeing Adam West Batman thinking it was new shit.
oh, I knew that was old.
Well, I was little.
Oh, all right.
Like, and then, there was Creep Show. That was good.
Yes.
The series was awesome.
Yeah, I figured Lynch would be all over that.
That was a hell of a series back then, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Matt Marsh coming in at number 4.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go with Cheers. Cheers. It was in a bar. It was people hanging out. To this day, I look back and it's like, you try to emulate it in your 20s a little bit. It just, I just dug Cheers.
That's another show. How did you watch that? Again,
It was on after Cosby.
Again.
Yep.
Again. I never watched that show. But whenever that happened, whatever the bedtime was, there it was.
Yeah.
So I don't ever remember watching that show. Just hearing it the first couple
I
of
know.
years. That's it. I only saw it, and then it was later when I started watching because they were still running the show. When I started watching the first seasons in syndication.
Right.
I love that. I love that pick.
Great
I love
show.
it so much. I love it so much. We're going to talk about it again at some point.
Yeah, I like Cheers. It's a good show. That was one on my list.
I just dug it, man.
All right.
They had freaking multiple spin-offs of that fucker.
Yeah. The Frasier one being the most successful.
Yep. And then Wings, which went on for actually quite a few seasons too.
Yep.
I love that show.
Wings was a Cheers spinoff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It started, and it was not like Frasier was, but it was one of those deals where you had the characters just briefly, they did like a
Sort of a testing ground,
pilot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I
Yeah,
only
it-
saw that show on USA in syndication.
Yeah.
Yep.
They share the same the universe, television universe.
They did.
A good show. I loved her when Crystal Bernard.
And I liked a lot of those shows. You know,
hard on
the
for her.
sitcoms of that day shared the same universe. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
She was so hot.
I think that put Crystal Bernard was gorgeous.
Oh, she was. And then Amy Yazbek, she married John Ritter later on, but the redhead, she was freaking.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Our early childhood boners, all in one show.
Yeah.
I think it's Herm's pick.
Oh yeah, Herm pick.
Let's see. Sitcoms that actually worked. Three's Company was an actual 80s sitcom.
Yeah,
That
multiple
was pretty good.
spin-offs of that one as well.
Yep.
Anybody know?
I
The
know
Ropers.
the Ropers, Three's a
Well,
Crowd.
Ropers,
There you go.
Yeah.
Was an Empty Nest. No.
And,
Richard Mulligan was a part of Three's Company, like as a recurring character,
Yeah,
but I don't
I
know
think
that it was.
Empty Nest came from
Empty
Three's
Nest,
Company.
man. I had a thing for Christy McNichol like you would not fucking believe.
So did I.
So that explains a lot, Marsh. It really does.
A movie. Yeah, because she. Well, you know.
You
anyway,
either turn them or you follow them.
Oh,
A movie she was in with Tatum O'Neal in the very late '70s, Little Darlings.
yeah, I
Yes.
remember that.
About
But
the camp.
when she was on Empty Nest, and she was older, I thought she was. It took me a while to figure out who it was. I was like, she's beautiful. But
Oh, I ain't gonna
not
lie
so
to you.
much
I
as a
thought she
teenager.
was
She had
cute,
that
too.
tomboy. But as she was growing up, oh yeah.
Dude, she's way too tall and doesn't have a second body attached for you to be interested in her.
I dug it. She was the first lesbian I ever encountered that I didn't have to convert.
Right. She's the only single body with single head I've ever been attracted to.
By proxy.
Oh,
Hey, I
Lord.
turned one. I've turned one in my lifetime, Matt. I can feel the pain a little bit.
There's no pain. It is what it is. Everybody's got a fucking superpower.
Yours? Well, you know.
I mean, mine doesn't make me $1 million, but
Oh God!
It comes with a good story.
Did we hear? We heard from you already. Three's Company. Was that you, Herm?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Lynch, or is it Lynch or me?
Me.
Lynch.
All right, we'll go with go ahead for Throttle Up.
The Golden Girls.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
I liked it in the beginning. I liked Sophia.
Yeah. So my grandmother Lynch loved that fucking show, and the days it was on, I was at her house all the time. So I watched her with her and my grandfather for the first 3 or 4 seasons, and then when I got older and was staying home alone, I would put it on every once in a while. And that was one of those shows that kind of jumped the shark about halfway through its run.
What
But
kind
I
of
loved it. Yeah, I loved it for Sophia.
Yeah.
Oh, Sophia was a hot shit.
I couldn't process at that age I was at the time. I couldn't process the concept of old people having sex, and
Now you are old people having sex.
Having sex.
We're old.
Actually, we are. I saw something several years ago where they show what the actual age of some of those women was at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Estelle Getty is actually, I believe, younger than we
the
are
youngest cast
right
member.
now.
How old was
She
Archie
like
Bunker when
49
he did that
shit
show?
started, not
48.
He was in his 40s. He was in his
Yeah.
40s.
Huh?
Archie Bunker looked like fucking 60, and I'm like, holy shit, he was younger.
He was 48 when that show was at its
Well, you
peak.
gotta remember, he did to us because we were 7.
Right.
Like 23-year-olds were like, my 60-year-old babysitter looked old. So
Wilford Brimley, when he did Cocoon, the movie about the old folks home, was 46 when he did that character.
No.
yes.
Look
And
it
Rue
up.
McCla-
Yes, he was actually younger
Listen.
when he did Our House as the grandfather. They aged him
No
with makeup.
shit. That
but
explains why he
he's-
looked like he was old for fucking years.
forever, because that's how we learned his face was old. And then
Yep.
he just kind of aged into what we remembered seeing him as a kid. This motherfucker is like Dick Clark, the fucking
Right.
Cocoon.
It's like
This
fucking
Cocoon
Sam Elliott.
motherfucker. He
You got-
don't
you gotta
age.
remem- You got to remember her. Matt, when Golden Girls, did you hear that?
When
Yeah.
Rue
Yeah.
McClanahan started Golden Girls.
When Rue McClanahan started Golden Girls, she was younger than you are right now.
Yeah, I know. I've looked it up, and
That's crazy.
That's
Because
sobering.
she was playing a person in her mid to late 50s.
But that
I'd
was
hit
weird
that
for
back.
me.
I'm
'Cause-
not gonna lie, I'd have hit that back then. She was
Rue-
fucking freak.
right, but
She was
she's
a very pretty lady.
for a young person. You're looking at somebody you're perceived to be 60 years old, and she's talking about getting laid all the time, and I'm just kind of like, I'm fucking grossed out right now. But
Yo, have you seen some really old pictures of Betty White?
Yes.
yeah,
She was
it's
a
like Barbara
gorgeous,
Stanwyck.
gorgeous woman.
She was
It's like
fucking
stumbling
amazing.
upon pictures of your great grandma that you
Linda
did
Evans
before,
back at the
before
Big
she was
Ballad.
your
Holy
great
shit.
grandma, and you're like, who is that? Oh my god, that's
Exactly.
cheesy.
When I saw
great
Christy
grandma.
Brinkley on TV the other day, and I'm like, I'd still hit it.
Have you seen her daughter,
Who's?
Christy Brinkley?
I mean, like biblically?
Yeah, Alexa.
No.
She's gorgeous, and she's
Oh.
a hell of a singer too.
Oh, ooh.
I loved it when Billy Joel got remarried and eventually re-divorced from the cooking lady. She was only 8 years older than his daughter.
The cooking lady.
I don't know what her
I
fucking
can't-
name is. She's the cooking
I-
lady.
Can't fucking stand her.
Neither can I, but
cooking
she's
lady?
hotter than shit.
The only cooking
Yeah.
lady I can't stand is fucking Rachel Ray.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I hate her too.
Thank
I
you
hate her
so
too.
much.
She is so fucking
It's
annoying.
delish.
I hated her when she
Speak
was
English,
on
bitch.
fucking what
Oh my
$11 a day or whatever
That's
the fuck it was.
unfortunate. Chris, your stream's got to go. So, I just got a message. Something's wrong with it. Your feed specifically. YouTube just says that the word "delish" is banned. I have to let you go.
No, I wasn't using it in. I
said-
don't like her for using that word.
I hate that fucking word. I fucking hate it.
So do I.
hate her. She's too fucking
It's-
happy.
It's
Half
fucking
of the
gross.
dishes she makes are abominations of what the
It's
real
gross.
dishes are. It's horrible.
She sucks. She didn't deserve her own show. Fuck it.
Her cookware is trash. Her
Her
skill is
smile
trash.
starts on Monday and ends on Thursday. She's got the biggest
Yeah,
mouth
she's
in
got more
television
teeth
history.
than John Elway.
Yep. Ah.
Holy shit.
She certainly didn't deserve her own
I
fucking
can't
talk show.
stand her. I can't stand her. I hate.
Oh, where are we at? My pick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved Night Court, which again
Nice.
was a show that I caught in syndication late 80s, early 90s, thanks to Nick at Night and other wonderful television stations. Fantastic show. Every character, you liked every character. There was nobody on that show you went, oh, gee, I really don't want to hear Mac talk today. No, you liked Mac. And you liked the hot lawyer chick, Marky Post, God rest her soul.
Oh my
You
god,
like-
she was amazing.
And when Selma died, the bailiff, and they brought in Marshall
yeah.
Warfield, oh, what a
Marky
stroke
was,
of...
Marky was actually second. On that show, wasn't she?
Yes,
Or
there was the
she
other
after
blonde lady first.
Yeah,
Little
but
blonde
the
with
other
a little
one wasn't
pixie
as.
dyke haircut.
Yep,
Right.
and she quit, and Marky Post was brought in. But yeah, you want to talk about a stroke of genius? We lost a beloved character on this show in Selma, and they got Marsha Warfield. It made it.
March was great.
Oh my God, she was the best.
Mm.
Awesome.
She was
So
one of
that's
my favorite parts of that show.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
without
and
a
then,
doubt.
Well, then who was the lady that they put after Marsha left with Bull, the little old one, in the beginning?
Oh yeah. I can't.
With the glasses. Come on, Bull. Let's go.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her.
She was pretty good too.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. Because part of that is you had to be like a smart mouth to be that character, and I can't remember what Selma's actual name was or stage
Yeah,
name.
I mean, most of the time she didn't remove the Marlboro from between her lips.
That's
deliver
right.
the
She always
line.
had the cigarette dangling.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Fuck. All right.
You know,
I will say that the new Night Court with
It's okay.
Melissa Rauch, it's
not
actually
bad.
pretty good.
not bad.
It is very, very reminiscent of the original series because it's
I think
totally
that bringing
ridiculous.
John Larroquette
Well,
back was
I was going
brilliant.
to say Lara Kett totally makes that
Yeah,
work.
it
for
wouldn't
new
be
and,
without
for
him.
new and old.
Yeah, it bridges the gap for everybody.
He still got it.
I could listen to him read the phone book all day long.
You wanna help
There's
him?
something about his voice. There's something about his voice that's just I don't
Gives you
know.
a chubby?
Yeah, no, not quite that far. But he's got a great stage voice.
He does.
Yes.
And he was the narrator at the beginning of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Really, I did not know
They
that.
paid him They paid him in weed and beer.
My kind of gig.
Blue Larroquette.
Yeah, he did the voiceover work at the very beginning of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
I
and his
did
voice
not
was in
know
the
that.
trailers. Yeah.
Huh.
And
you learn something new every day.
You can't tell that he ever spent 1 hour ever in Louisiana, and that's where he grew up.
Yeah. Which was funny because his character had a freaking hillbilly backstory too.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just a good actor.
Well,
I mean, he's funny.
You can tell. It's just not. He is a completely different type of growing up in Louisiana character.
Oh, he
That's
wasn't
the-
Cajun.
No, that's the thing. Is he was.
Oh.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't grow up mush mouth. He grew up
Yeah,
more along the lines of the aristocrat style people.
Right.
That's how we talk. even
Debutante
though we are-
balls and bullshit.
Yes, and this is Let's go out to the parlor and see some shit. Kind of like like transplants from the east that moved down. So, but yeah, he definitely comes from an area where you're like, how the fuck does he even sound like that? Because he grew up where he grew up and how he did. But
Herm half
Yeah.
expected. Can you please pass the jelly?
right? Can you please pass the jelly?
Muffy, if you would be
I don't
so
know why
kind
they
as
call
to
it
talk.
hamburger
that's
helper.
literally
It's
more
fine
like
on its
coffee.
own.
You know,
Will you please pass the pollen of all fruit?
yo, I mean, come on, man.
Ugh.
Let's. How many of us thought when we were 8 years old that Grey Poupon was the height of?
Oh, yeah.
aristocracy
And fucking Taster's Choice.
and living it.
Fucking
Folgers.
Taster's Choice. We're at the where we secretly replaced.
Why did you
Cafe International Foods gimmick coffee.
Yeah. In the tins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, those, and the other one wasn't Taster's Choice. It was Folgers Crystal.
Folgers.
Oh, Folgers. Oh, and what about Stella Dora breadsticks?
Yo, those
Yep.
are awesome. Those are
Those are
awesome.
fucking
Yeah, but
disgusting.
they're not high society.
Those are gross.
Well, I mean, come
Yeah.
on. I mean, our mothers all bought an Entenmann's cake that was set on the counter, and we
Yep.
weren't to fucking touch it because that was in case anybody stopped the fuck by.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
And nobody stopped by, and the
And that
cake
was-
still
no,
remained
nobody
3
did.
weeks
Oh,
later.
no, it didn't actually, because in my house they'd buy it in case somebody stopped by. So mom was shopping on Saturday. So by Thursday or Friday, if nobody was scheduled, Dad would probably get into the fucking Entenmann's. So she'd just buy a new one every week. But that was in case somebody stops by.
Did any of you fuckers
That was the height
have
of
a house
entertainment.
that still had plastic on the couch?
No, but my grandmother
No, that
did
was
for a while. Until my grandfather got tired of it one day and just pulled it all off while she was
Yeah.
out playing bingo or something. Christopher, come in here. We're gonna do something. What are we gonna do? We're gonna take all this fucking plastic off the couch. I'm tired of it. My ass sticks to it in the summer. I'm done with it. Your grandmother doesn't have to know.
Your grandfather was Joe Pesci?
Pretty close. He was Joe Marzo. So yeah. My grandfather
Wow.
was like not quite off the boat Italian, but his
Nice.
sister was. Oh man, I love talking to her. Ma, why are you so sad? Come eat. You look like you haven't eaten in a while.
I got a couple of tree things to say.
Yeah, a couple of
Come.
of four.
Come, sit. Just for a moment. Oh, couple tree was one of my grandfather's favorite. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a couple tree ideas.
My
How many beers
grandmother
did you
Lynch
have at the
had,
baseball game, Joe? Oh, I had a couple tree
Tree.
beers. Couple tree. You were driving with
My
your
grandmother-
grandson in the car from Fenway Park and you were drinking. Only had a couple tree beers, Bertha. Give me a break.
My grandmother Lynch had a living room set that nobody was allowed to sit on for years, and she went to Ethan Allen Furniture. Anybody who lives
Yeah.
in the Northeast know that Ethan Allen is like hoity-toity, high-class
Yeah, it was
furniture.
the high end of blue collar society.
Yep. And Lynch and every
It-
kid in that family stood at the edge of the parlor just peeking in, go, someday I'm gonna go
Someday
in.
I'm gonna get in there."
I'm gonna sit on that couch. Someday she gonna let me in there.
That and the goddamn china cabinets.
Yeah. That brings up a funny story. Is that one day when I was like 10, I'm like, and the record player was in there, so I waltzed in, put a record on, and sat down in one of the chairs. My grandmother walked by and freaked the fuck out. My grandfather
Beat you.
says, "No." My grandfather walked by and says, "Let the kids sit. Those fucking chairs been sitting there for 15 years and on an ass print in to be seen in it. Let the fucking kids sit."
He could sniff the cushions and not smell one fart.
It's pretty much. Well, you couldn't get. You wouldn't smell anything through the plastic.
No. All
You
right.
said you had a funny story to tell. I thought it involved sitting on a G.I. Joe missile in a bathtub.
Oh, G.I. Joe was swimming
that's
in the
that's a sexy-
In the
water.
water and a
That's
big
a
brown
sexy time
shark
story.
What's your number 3 pick, Marsh?
My number 3 pick is going to the man who scored 4 touchdowns in a single game, and that is Al Bundy with Married with Children, which I thought was funny back in the day, and 30 years later, it's not so funny anymore. It just makes you kind of sad.
Not me. I'm gonna tell you this. I loved what I love about that show is when Al was more often than not working, but he pulled a couple of these off at home, messing with the women and their weight and their ugliness and whatnot and what have
Right.
you, and the way they blended the Bundy family into outside ventures for guest stars. They had King Kong
Oh, it was
Bundy on
great.
the show.
King Kong Bundy was on
wrestler.
several times.
Yep. They had Anthrax as one of the
Yep.
band members was supposedly a cousin, and they would come over and
Wow.
have a good fucking time. And
Yeah, a ton of people on
that
the
show was ahead of its time because that was the
It
beginning
was.
of what I like to call the desensitized 90s. Nobody was offended by everything. The 90s were the decade
great.
where fuck you was like saying hello to somebody.
Well, it was one of Fox's pilot shows.
Yes.
And like I said, I maybe I should rephrase. It didn't make me sad that it was a bad show because it wasn't. It made me sad because comedy turned into my reality, and it was like, oh, this is life now. I go to work every day and do all this stuff, and okay. And toaster shakings became a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you just one time. Does your wife have a beehive hairdo?
No,
Okay, because I was gonna say if that's art imitating life, I'm just gonna fall over
No.
dead right here. Ratings.
no. You know what's crazy is Peg was hot even with that whole setup back then. But
Oh,
every
hell
role
yeah.
I've seen her in since then, she's just gotten more attractive. It's like Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
And when you consider, she was a
beautiful.
singer in the 70s that played with a couple
She
of different
was.
bands. She did backup singing for a lot of artists. And then she does this role and she's hotter than a pistol. Those clothes did her lots of favors too. But yeah, what was the next one she did with John Ritter? That show she was gorgeous in.
That was with
the
Kaylee
daughters
Cuoco.
and- yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Eight Simple Rules.
Yes,
My
well, that
daughter.
was the show. That was the show he was doing when he died.
That's
Yeah, it
correct.
was. And she did
Yep.
guest spots on Boston Legal, way prior to Sons of Anarchy. But she came from an acting family. She has 2 twin sisters.
Twin sisters. Yeah.
Not twins to her, but that they had their own sitcoms as well.
Double
I think it
Trouble.
was
they
Double
were-
Trouble.
Yeah, they were in Grease.
Like deep fried.
The first Grease. Not deep fried Grease. You know what I mean. The movie Grease.
The
No,
twins
the
were in
cut-
the first Grease?
The Country.
Huh?
Her,
They
twins
were in
the
Grease
first
too.
Grease? Oh, I was going to
Grease
say,
2.
yeah.
Grease 2.
Okay, yeah.
The far
her-
inferior
her
Grease movie.
short- I prefer to call it, frying shortening. Okay,
There you
There
go.
you go.
Magic Juice.
you know.
I got
All right.
Onions,
Herm, throw down your number 3.
Perfect Strangers.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I think you guys have
My mom
all
loved that
hit.
show.
You guys have all hit my honorable mentions. Every one of you.
Perfect Strangers. Very nice.
Oh,
I like that show.
From the
Beautiful.
little island of Mipos.
that's right.
Mipos.
And they married those 2 hot stewardesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Balky
We
made
do
out
the
like a
Dance of Joy.
fucking
Oh,
bandit.
I'm sorry,
I was going to
flight
say
attendants.
the Dance of Joy.
They're flight attendants now.
Whatever.
Love the Dance of Joy. Love the Dance of Joy. Da, 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 da,
Da, da, da, da.
Yes, the kick.
Hey,
kick,
hey,
hey,
hey.
Yes, love it. Oh,
That show was perfect for every demographic. It was goofy enough for us as kids,
it worked
And
for
it
the
was
parents,
adult-
'cause- right?
and it worked for the parents too.
The downside of that show, the one downside is it pigeonholed Bronson Pinchot, who played in just
Oh,
about
yeah.
everything until that
Big
show.
time.
It pigeonholed him into being the goofy foreign guy, much like Andy Kaufman got pigeonholed in Taxi.
It did.
Because
Yeah.
And
what
it
did he
was-
do?
it was-
It started with Beverly Hills Cop, and then he did Perfect Strangers. Then everything after that, he had to have an accent. But I've seen
But
him
at
in
least he had a
movies.
career.
Yeah, but you
Because
see him
Mark
in
Lin-Baker
movies, and you're
was
like,
done after that.
when you see him in bit parts in movies, one of 2 names comes out of your mouth. You're like, is that Balky?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
that's Surge?
Surge. Yeah.
Serge.
I will not get
You
the
said-
fuck out of
When was the
here.
original
I
Beverly
cannot
Hills?
because it is serious.
Where was the original Beverly Hills Cop? What year was that?
84.
84.
Now, Family Matters, I think, was a spinoff of Perfect Strangers.
Yes, the cop.
Yes.
Carl,
cop?
Yeah, the
Paul
cop.
was
Yep.
technically on that show.
Yeah, the cop and the wife were neighbors,
Carl
I think,
Winslow.
of theirs. Yeah. Good call by you.
Never
Wow.
liked that show. Never liked that show.
Which one? Family Matters?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't like her.
Uh-uh.
Now, that Urkel
He
shit
annoyed
didn't
me.
really work for me.
Urkel didn't
No, he
piss me off.
annoyed
Urkel didn't
He didn't
piss me off as
I
much
was
as
like-
the daughter, who's hotter than
Oh,
shit.
Laura?
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but boy, you want to talk about a piss ass attitude? You deserve the men you're going to meet, you loser.
Mm-hmm.
Give Steve a chance. Hashtag give Steve a chance.
All right, you lost me there. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Steve Urkel was in love with the daughter, but
Oh,
she was too uppity bitch face to even look at him.
Okay.
And she
Take
got
your word
hurt
for it.
all the time. And who picked up the pieces of her heart? Steve Urkel. He was friend zone before friend zone was
He
cool.
was.
Nah, you just want a little bit of stank on his hang low.
Hey, he should have gotten it.
But the guy that played him, was Halil White, whatever the fuck it was. He went through great lengths to prevent himself from being typecast. And although he hasn't done like a ton of mainstream shit since then, he's had a pretty active career.
Oh yeah, he's
Outside
right
of
now. I
this,
think
man.
he's writing and directing and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's
So good on him. Nice choice, by the way. Perfect Strangers.
that is a good one.
Who's next?
Yeah, I like that show. I did not like that show, but something similar to in the same universe. I think I'm gonna go. Oh, not universe, but time frame. 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
All right, that was a pilot show for Fox as well.
So my dad was a big fan of Fox when it first came out. He's like, it's better TV, which I think it was. For
Oh yeah,
what they were
Living
cranking out
Color,
for
which was
bullshit on C.
revolutionary for the time.
Well, what impressed him was Married with Children. He said this is what sitcom. He always said this is what sitcoms should be on regular TV, but
Right.
they're pussies
It
and they
was
don't want to
racy.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, spicy. It had an edge to it, and
Oh,
that's what my dad gravitated to, and I loved the show. And then as a byproduct of that, we got to see 21 Jump Street come on before it at 7:00.
Mhm.
That's right.
I remember sorting baseball cards on the dining room table, and there 21 Jump Street. Time to pay
Yep.
attention.
21 Jump
we go.
Street, for what it's worth, was like the first cool, what do you call it? Not teenage, but young adult cop show where young people got behind it. Even
Yep.
teenagers got behind that show. And, I grew up in a cop family, obviously, so I watched all those fucking shows and I hated most of them. But, every once in a while, I'd hit on a Hill Street Blues or a 21 Jump Street, to your point, Lynch, and, I'm off to the races. It was great.
Yeah.
And it launched the careers of a whole lot of people, and it ruined the careers of a couple of people, Richard Grieco.
Oh yeah,
Burns, quick
Richard
question
Grieco.
for you. Relating to your,
DeLuise.
Peter DeLuise could have had a career.
He
fucked
he
himself.
has mostly on the Sci-Fi Channel, but
Great. And then he could do Lifetime movies with Valerie Bertinelli and the chick
Yeah.
from,
Peter,
what the fuck was the show she was on? Full House.
Lacey Chabert. No,
Oh,
Lacey
her too.
Chabert.
Party of Five. Yeah, her and Candace Cameron are like, we're gonna make a movie. Call Lacey. If she's not available, get Candace.
yeah, a lot of the Vancouver productions DeLuise ended up getting involved in. I mean, he had a career. It just was. Now, coming from a cop family, it always struck me as interesting because, like I said, you came from a cop family, and they gravitated towards cop shows.
A lot of them. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really, that strikes me as odd.
I
shouldn't,
think
but does.
I wish I knew the answer because I know firefighters that love shows about firefighting, and
But do they
know-
watch them to pick them apart and see all the things that are wrong, type thing?
no,
Or
I
is
think
this
it's just
genuinely-
I think sometimes some of them do, a lot of them do. No, Herm does that. Herm does that with cooking shows. That's why him and Robert Irvine
Really?
will never be in the same room
Say it
together.
ain't so.
But no, my dad watched them. I think more for the entertainment. For every Hill Street Blues, you had like Barney Miller, which was just
I love
more
Barney Miller.
probably. And my dad said this at one point. It's closer to what it's like behind the scenes than Hill Street Blues is.
Okay.
Because the guys are always busting each other's balls.
The
They're
downtime, yeah.
Yeah. And, he'd watch the other shows to kind of, because a lot of them are based on true stories, to see the process they'd go through. It's a lot like MacGyver. They're not going to show you exactly how they solved the crime. They're going to give you just enough to think
just enough where you don't
how to
kill
solve
yourself at home. Right.
Exactly. 1,000%. But yeah, he loved the cop shows. And again, from talking to him when we were talking in the early 2000s, he was watching reruns of Hill Street. I'm like, you didn't get enough of this back when? He goes, for then, that time in 2000, it was like reminiscing. But at the time, he's just kind of seeing how the sausage is made somewhere else, if you will.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah, it was the drama.
Yeah, I can speak to that too, because my mom and dad both worked for the municipality of Groton, one for the town, one for the city, and I knew a lot of city and town cops growing up, and there was a lot of time spent in living rooms, and a lot of it is like, that would never happen. That's bullshit.
See, it's
that's not realistic.
Because coming from like a freaking 20-year security background, I worked in an industry where a lot of the younger people were desperately trying to become cops. So that's what they gravitated towards, was watching cops on TV. And I mean, they'd get boners freaking in their off time sitting around freaking just watching cops. And it always struck me as somewhat amusing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to laugh at I had a bouncer friend who absolutely once a month, much like me and my mob movies, he would watch Roadhouse once a month, and I'm like, do you guys all get together and jerk each other off,
and beat off and watch Roadhouse?
Yeah, he's kicking another guy. I don't get it. If I worked in the cop industry, I don't know that I would like those. I would probably go more toward documentaries, but then again, it's a different time, different ball game.
Very much so.
So who's next for number 3? Was that Lynch's number 3?
That was.
Yeah, I did 21 Jump Street. I did 21 Jump Street.
Okay, that's right.
So who's next?
So that would be me. For a lot of reasons. One, I saw a lot of myself in the main male teenage character, and I was absolutely in love with the teenage female character. Mine is going to be Growing Pains.
Very
Love
nice.
that show.
I really enjoyed that.
Also, too. Joanna Kearns is the mom, a hot mom. Gotta love that.
Mom.
Alan Thicke is like Herm said earlier about somebody. Alan Thicke could tell me the menu at the Chinese restaurant, and it's never going to get boring. He's got just that commanding voice that
everybody
brings
wanted
you
to be their dad.
Oh yeah, he was basically like side by side with Cosby as America's dad. My number 2
was the hot Canadian.
Yeah, and my number 2 had a not so strong dad. So we're gonna stick to the strong dad character right now.
Right.
Shut up, Herm. Shut up, Herm. Shut up, Herm. And just go ahead, Marsh. Just because Herm can't let people have what they want.
I've got
he just has to be an asshole.
Mine's actually a spinoff of a previously mentioned show, and I mean, I can watch episodes of this even now, although you don't see them, and I enjoyed it. It's not for everybody, but A Different World, which was a spinoff of the Cosby Show. I found some of the characters on there pretty funny, and some of the storylines, and I enjoyed it.
Dwayne.
I was a big fan of Jaleesa. Marissa Tomei got her start in that show.
Yep, she sure did.
Yeah, that was a fantastic program. I enjoyed that, and when I liked it when they moved Lisa Bonet to that show to move her away from the Cosby Show, give her a little breathing room, and then she pissed off Bill Cosby, so he wrote her out of her own show.
You got it.
Like, all right, bitch, I got your ass.
I had the biggest fucking crush on her when I was a teenager.
Well, that's because she did that. She did that movie with
Angel Heart.
Angel Heart.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke. Sorry. Whatever.
Yeah,
but,
same.
Yeah, same. But yeah, she did some hot, steamy sex movie, and Cosby was like, "That just doesn't work with what we're doing here. If that's what you want to do, I'll write you out of your own show."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get to see your titties, so I'm good.
That wasn't a bad scene.
Yeah.
Not quite Halle Berry in Monsters Ball, but good enough.
That's a tough movie to watch.
Yeah, it is.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
Oof.
watch
Good
it.
luck.
You don't watch a lot of the movies we recommend, so why do I think you're going to watch this one?
I've watched some of the movies you recommended.
Pick one.
Oh shit! I got to think for a
There you
minute.
go.
Well, I don't remember what you recommended off the top of my head. I watched
Sling Blade.
Scarface.
Scarface is
You
awesome.
just recommended that the other day. You got to give me some time.
Okay. Did you watch it yet?
Oh, I've been at work.
You've had a week.
How about now?
No, excuse. How about now?
How about now?
How about now?
See, Lynch knew.
How about now?
I'm not watching Beavis and Butthead Do America, so don't even ask.
No, watch Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. That's better. It's a much better film.
I've never ever liked Beavis and Butthead or The Simpsons.
You poor bastard.
Oh, that's on my list.
It's the
Have
ASMR.
it? I'm not fucking.
Nothing I can do about it. This guy has a prison accent.
No.
That's not Wolverine, Butthead. No.
No.
I got a lot of black sitcoms. I didn't realize.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I
Racist?
just didn't
227
realize.
on there?
They prefer
What's
to
that?
call them sitcoms of color.
227 on there?
This was before BET.
The opinions expressed by Matt Marsh are those of Matt Marsh alone and not necessarily
Not
those of
alone,
anyone
not
else.
necessarily the opinions of Big Herm Studios
Anybody.
or any of its employees.
Now, have you guys watched anything on BET?
Yes.
Like
Not
any
in
of that?
years.
Or
Not in
maybe
years.
not BET, but like some of the Tyler Perry stuff. I mean, they're sitcoms, but it just shows like a very different kind of like how the cultures are different. Like funny stuff on there involves like.
Well,
stuff
yeah,
that-
you know, I mean, we had like designing women. They don't. There it is.
Right. But they have like the crackhead dealer who comes into the house and shit. And it's just like stuff that and
They
one of the
don't
main
have
characters.
MacGyver. I'm
What's
just
that?
saying. They don't have MacGyver. There it is. We do.
That's
there
true.
It is.
God, you just opened the
there's
door
a
and I cannot walk through it. Yes, I can. No, they had MacGyver
Oh Lord.
with an A. With an A.
Heard.
Heard. See you later. We're canceled.
And we are out of here.
Peace. All right.
Nice.
Who's at number 2?
After
You?
me, it went by age, so it's got to be Herm.
Number 2 would be Valerie.
Before or after?
Or with all the seasons
Before
with
Sandy Duncan?
Valerie. Yes, before Sandy Duncan, and
Before it became the Hogan family.
because of Valerie and Bateman. I love
Bateman.
character in
Bateman
that
was great.
show. He was
I mean-
fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Bateman had a
Awesome.
couple of sitcoms.
But yeah, there it is. That's my number 2. There it is.
That's a good choice.
I want to know why those twins.
I'm way lagging.
I know there are twins that don't look alike, but those two look like before and after on a weight loss scale. They did not. No. I didn't like that show.
They were like the twins. They were like the twins on Home Improvement. How the fuck are you?
Those two were
There
twins.
was no twins on the Home Improvement.
They weren't twins.
No,
then-
Mark was
all right,
younger.
whatever. They didn't look alike at all. I'm just saying.
No.
Fuck that.
No, because
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who played Mark, was
one
younger
was a
than,
moose and one was a chooch. So there it is.
Right.
yeah,
I had to think for the mom on there. Whoa, man.
Patricia Richardson. She was a hot number.
Yes, she
Ooh,
was.
yes, indeed. Good God in heaven. All right, number 2 now goes to Lynch. Valerie. Jesus Christ.
I like that show. And then it turned to the Hogan family. It would turn to shit.
Well, anything Sandy Duncan does turns to Skippy peanut butter and bullshit.
Except when she guest starred on Scooby Doo.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is tough because I've pretty much gone through my repertoire, but
You have to
I
go to the
like.
70s at this rate.
Well, no, it's a show that started in the 80s. Is Seinfeld.
Okay.
I fucking hated Seinfeld. It took me years to get into that.
So the first season was rough, and now the second season came on, and they started hitting their stride. By like the third season, it became one of my favorite shows on television. because it were kind of like how I was living life. You're not really doing anything at 20 years old. You know what I mean? 89, 90 comes around 92 and through that era. So it was very relatable to me.
See, whereas with me, it took me years to figure out that I was watching it wrong. Part of the reason I hated the show is because I hated the fucking characters, and it wasn't until years later I realized, well, you're kind of supposed to.
You're not supposed to like these people.
They're bad fucking people, and I'm like,
and that's the genius behind the show.
It was.
That's the genius behind the show. Is that these are despicable fucking people that do ridiculous things, and the funny part is they don't realize how ridiculous and disgusting they are.
No,
he should have wore the fucking ribbon.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
My two favorite characters on that show were fucking Jackie Childs, the lawyer, and fucking David Warburton as Putty.
Putty.
It was fucking great.
I was a Newman guy myself. I like Newman.
Oh,
yeah, Newman. I think George Costanza's dad is probably my favorite character on that, like side character on that show, because he was just so fucking ridiculous.
Blows down upon this man.
Prepare for the airing of the grievances.
The feats of strength are coming up.
The story he tells.
With you people, and you're gonna hear about it.
The episode where he's recalling being a cook in the service is probably one of his funniest monologues.
Probably the funniest bit you've ever fucking seen.
I have to go look for that. I've never seen it.
Oh god, it's so fucking funny.
Yo, just
so funny.
Just the fact for me, growing up, watching them with my parents, watching Stella and Mirror be his parents was just funny as shit.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a fucking phenomenal comedic guy.
Yeah, sure.
I loved him.
And as rain blows down upon this man,
I found him significantly funnier than his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two things I like Ben Stiller in: Something About Mary and Tropic Thunder.
I like
everything
Tropic
else
Thunder,
around him.
I don't like him.
Along Came Polly. I only watched it for Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, the Meet the Fockers shit. It just didn't do much.
The first one though, Meet the Parents, was really good.
Meet the Parents was pretty good. The Night at the Museum series was pretty fucking good.
I like Night at the Museum. I'll give you that. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. And he made a serious movie in the late '90s called Permanent Midnight. No, I enjoyed Zoolander, but it wasn't because of him. It was everyone else around him was really good in that movie. But he made a movie in the mid to late '90s called Permanent Midnight. It was based on a novel. He plays a drug addict. His best performance, because he's in that other movie from the '90s. Was it Reality Bites?
Reality Bites
was okay. That was a huge thing in our generation. It like tells the story of the kids who grew up in this time frame. I couldn't relate to it. It was an okay movie.
Okay,
but without that, there's a lot of music came out from that movie though. That soundtrack was really good.
True.
But yeah, Seinfeld. That's me.
Nice.
Because Harm's a twat. Number 2 is Family Ties. Just wants to come out, tell my picks and be an asshole.
I liked Michael J. Fox on that quite a lot.
I liked everybody but the father.
Alex P. Keaton, I thought was great.
We are not eating English muffins this week in protest. I thought it was funny as fuck.
It was, a hippie household, and he worked for public television, and I was like,
and Alex was fucking president of the Young
Ultimate Republican.
Yeah, but but you think about it, each one of those 3 kids were as far away from hippies as possible. You had Alex, who was mega yuppie. You had Mallory, who was a preppy girl,
and dumb as a fucking stump.
Yeah, she was the it girl.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Tina Yothers.
Tina Yothers played the sarcastic little bitch.
Yeah, I didn't care for
Right.
her at all.
And she was like a jock.
Yep,
Right.
and of course, when that show started to fail, what did they do? They brought in the kid. Let's
Yeah,
make a new character. They should have let the kid out of it and just made Nick the new big thing, because as Mallory's boyfriend, Nick was the bomb.
Yeah,
He was funny.
I liked him.
He was dumber and dumb. What? Yeah.
Perfect match for her.
I make
he was like
art
the
out of
Tiger Beat
garbage.
flavor of the month at the time.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, he was.
Garbage.
What
Scott
was it?
Valentine.
Thank you, Scott Valentine. I was
And
getting
he
ready to
went
go
on-
to the
he-
Google machine.
He had a couple
I don't
movies around that time in the late 80s. What
He did.
What the fuck?
The one where he played the
remember the-
demon.
Yes, that
He
one. That's the
turns
one I'm
into a
thinking of.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
That's
it's
the
called.
movie I'm thinking of, and I can't remember what the fuck it is.
I don't
Where's
either,
my
but I
phone?
remember the basic plot.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that show. I had a thing for Justine Bateman. I thought she was cute. I liked. I went to school with a bunch of Alex P. Keatons.
I had a big
And-
thing for Tracy Pollan at the time.
Oh, she's beautiful. Back in
I
the
was,
day, man.
She was, yeah. I got mad when they ousted Courtney Cox for Tracy. What's her nuts?
No, I
But
think it was
she
the other
made-
way around.
It could be, but she made more sense, Tracy,
Yeah,
as the girlfriend.
yeah.
Wow. I wish
Ellen.
You might be right on the timeline. It might
She
be
played
that.
Ellen. Yep.
Yeah, Ellen. Thank you. And the other one was not Ellen.
I don't know. I don't remember what Courtney Cox's character's name was.
Bitch Fist. Oh, that's Friends. Sorry.
Yeah, she was.
The movie is called My Demon Lover.
That's right.
They played the shit out of that movie on HBO the following summer. It was on 5 times a day, every day.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, 87. So I was in high school, just starting high school,
Yep.
first year.
You know, for every bit of awesome entertainment we're talking about tonight, there's always one My Demon Lover that's going to screw it up for everybody.
Oh, hey, it would have bothered me if I didn't figure out what the movie
I
was.
understand that. What I'm saying is you take an actor who's hotter than shit and you say, you know what? We got an idea for you.
That'll be
What if?
Rico and License to Kill.
There you go. Or the mob movie he made, which was absolutely terrible.
Don't you say Night at the Roxbury. That's fucking gold.
It's the golden turd is what it is.
I love fucking Night at the Roxbury.
Oh.
I like the Wutabi Brothers. I like that skit. That's one of the better skits that came out of
All right.
SNL in the 90s.
Did you grab my ass?
Let us save each other from demon lovers and ass grabbing. Matt, the number one show from the 80s, sitcom wise, for Matt Marsh is.
Like number one from the 80s. I guess one probably I still watch when it's in reruns. I'm gonna go with Living Single with Kim Fields, Queen Latifah, and 2 other broads I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't think it matters at this point.
It's a good show. I liked it.
I
There's
didn't
another
see it
Fox
until it was in
Fox
syndication.
show. It was a fantastic show. Good job.
I just found it funny. I was older when I watched it, so.
There you go.
That's probably
Herm's number one is Jennifer Slept Here, and if anybody remembers that
I
show,
remember that.
there you go.
I remember that. I remember the whole
I love
plot
it.
line.
I
Yep.
loved Aunt Jillian.
She,
I was gonna say-
she was in what was that show?
It's a
where she
Living.
played a waitress.
It's a living.
It's
It's a living.
Yes.
It's a living.
Yes, and at the restaurant at the top of at the high rise.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that.
And Crystal
Angela, she
Bernard
died
was also
young.
on that show. Yes, she
Yes.
did.
Was it breast cancer? I think it was.
I believe
Yeah.
it
Yes.
was.
It
Double
was.
mastectomy.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
what a
Jillian.
what a shame! Not just for the breast cancer, but those were some nice breasts.
Tis true.
Yes, they were.
I calls them like I sees them.
I see 2 of them.
Yes, indeed. You beat me to it. All right. So, Herm, what is your number one if it's not Jennifer Slept Here? That's from Family Ties, baby.
That is.
Yep.
The train scene.
Train station.
Bill Rivera and the Beaters.
Except for train stations at 2 a.m. where I wear a tux.
That's from Family Ties?
Yes, it is.
That song is the song that he walks into the train station and professes every bit of his fucking love to her. And then she gets on the fucking train.
Alex
P. Keaton.
Who do you profess it to?
Ellen.
The girl that got on the train, to Ellen.
Oh, to Ellen. Oh, I don't fucking know. It's been years.
Jesus.
And get this, if she's on a train and he knows she left buttfuck Ohio and she's headed for Chicago, dude had to have been doing 112 to beat the train to Chicago. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's not very Republican.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I mean,
He used all kinds of gas.
he was conservative until it wasn't cool.
That's true.
He was not conservative on the gas consumption.
He's
Obviously not.
He wasn't conserving. Okay, there's a
I
difference.
mean, I remember weird shit about that show, and then other basic stuff I don't remember at all. I mean, I remember the college he went to and all this other shit, but
Do you remember the Tom Hanks episode?
Yes,
I do,
where he drank
Drank the vanilla extract.
and he slapped him in the face.
Yep.
That
That
was
was-
one of my first exposures to
Oh
Tom
my
Hanks.
God.
I'm gonna go with an honorable mention on that because Bosom
Really,
Buddies
you
was on my
didn't watch?
list too.
You didn't watch Bosom Buddies?
I just said Bosom
No.
Buddies on the.
He did.
Oh my
No,
God.
not until later in life.
Oh
Do you
my
remember
God.
him on Happy Days?
No,
Vaguely.
I didn't watch Happy Days.
He played a karate champ who freaking got into it with Fonzie.
Yep.
That's right.
Tom Hanks,
Yep.
Yes.
the Tom Hanks,
Mhm.
Yes.
Castaway, Wilson, Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, sir. He was
Yes,
on all kinds of
Forrest.
sitcoms
That
back in
Tom
the day.
Hanks.
Wow, for the Polar Express, Tom Hanks.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Big Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you know Rita Wilson's husband, that Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Have you seen his son act?
Colin
John Hanks.
Colin,
or Chester? Chet Hanks,
the
the rapper or the
Colin.
actor? Colin.
actor.
Yeah. Yep.
The newest season of Fargo that he's on.
Is that
He's
any good?
amazing in it. I love Fargo.
Okay, because I
Um,
haven't seen the movie either, so I didn't know if it was worth pursuing.
The movie is brilliant. I think you would enjoy it.
Was that a Coen Brothers thing?
Yes,
What?
Yeah, that's
What?
probably why I haven't seen it.
it's good.
Okay. All right, I'll check it out.
Fargo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good.
It doesn't ruin anything, but the basic story is based on the Richard Crafts murder case in Connecticut.
Oh, I remember that vividly.
Yep. Part of the plot of the movie has a thread to that.
Really interesting.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah, it was a
great
jump
fucking
off
movie.
point. It was a jump off point
Yeah.
when they wrote the
Okay.
movie.
yeah. But he's amazing in the series, and he sounds so much like his dad sometimes. It fucking, you're like,
I mean, I remember him in Band of Brothers, all kinds of other shit, but
yeah. Oh, I rewatched that recently. What a great fucking
Mm.
show that was.
yeah.
All right, who's up
But anyway, I think I am.
next? Okay.
My number
This better
one,
not suck.
numero uno. I might get. When did Different Strokes start?
81.
80 or 81.
Okay, so Different Strokes.
Okay.
I loved that fucking show.
They had some fucking controversial episodes of that shit.
I was
too.
gonna
Yes,
say,
they
and I
did.
was gonna say,
Dudley
in a very
actually,
special-
Different Strokes, 1978 to 1986.
Really? Wow, but still, it's still an
Yeah,
80
so
sitcom.
it doesn't matter. It was still on in the 80s.
Yeah.
a very special episode of Different Strokes, with
Yep.
the episode about the bicycle,
Dudley in the
Wasn't it?
bike shop. Yep.
Yep.
Dudley in the bike shop.
I don't know why that sticks out so much. It just does.
Because on
there was
every TV countdown ever, they reference that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Um,
Dudley in the Bike
Also,
Shop?
What's
the
Dudley in the
molester.
bike shop?
Molestation
Gordon
episode.
Jump. Gordon Jump played the bike shop owner.
Oh, good call. Bryce.
Arnold
I
and
forgot about that.
Dudley were buying stuff for their bikes, and he's like, "Oh, if you guys want to come back and earn a little extra money, you can clean around the bike shop." And they did, and they would get shit for free. He's like, "Oh, why don't you guys come in the back room? We're gonna play a little game." And he got them all
Yeah,
hopped up
and
on
Arnold,
wine, and
Arnold left.
Arnold bailed and left Dudley there to get diddled.
Yeah.
And whoever played Dudley's dad, I would not want him walking
Oh,
in
fuck,
and
yeah.
punching me in the mouth.
No.
That dude was beast.
But there are a lot of shows around at that time frame that would do those very special episodes.
Oh, the Punky Brewster refrigerator
Punky-
episode, which is
Oh shit! I forgot about that one.
Wait a minute. Can you?
I remember
a reboot of Webster nowadays, and that little black child calling her ma'am. Holy shit!
But there were 4 or 5 episodes in when she asked him. I remember this clear as a bell. She goes, "No, you call George. Why do you call me ma'am?"
And he was a little black adult.
Yeah, and he said because it's closer to mom. And she just melted.
I know that. I understand that, but still, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Explain it any way you
It doesn't
want
age
to.
well.
No, it doesn't. But it's not like he's calling her mammy.
No, I know. Well,
that'd be worse. You're right.
No, but it's yes, ma'am. It would be what a servant would say to, and that's today how it would be taken. How the child, ma'am, not just her name like George, but it's ma'am. Like they would have a field day with that, as it's referencing like an indentured servant.
Oh my!
You're
probably right.
But its intention was of a matter of respect.
It was
because in the South, I mean, the people who were the servants in the house were very, very grateful to be those servants. They didn't work twice as hard. They didn't work half as hard as the people who were working out in the actual fields. They actually get to sleep in the residence. They actually got up with or before the family they were serving. They were like living a real life.
Does anybody remember who played the real dad?
Advocating for house niggas. What the fuck?
What do you mean? What do you mean those servants? What do you mean those servants?
I got something in my pocket for you.
Wait. House niggas straight up. Yes, sir.
Wait.
I'm a guy playing a guy pretending to be another guy.
I got something in my pocket for you.
All right. My favorite. Oh, Webster. What a great fucking show. And not on anybody's list. I'm upset by that.
No.
I didn't watch that as much as I did Different Strokes. Well, I had this weird obsession with little black kids when I was out that age. I don't know what. I just
tense?
had.
Oh.
Had.
So,
way
back. Let's start your time at the priesthood.
Right. At the First Catholic Church of Lynch.
Well, Lynch was hoping to get transferred to Nigeria and have a parish down there.
Right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right. That would be a good discussion to have since we're all of that particular age. Our
favorite. If you were a priest, what country would you go to?
Thailand. But no, our favorite very special episodes.
Oh,
everybody's got one.
But I had you over the shark.
No,
I have to. You know what? I like the ABC after school specials.
Oh,
some of them were good.
Those were rough.
I love them motherfuckers. I love the after school specials.
Did your mom make you write a report afterwards of what you learned from it?
What? I learned how to seduce women.
No.
I have a question for who can answer it. What was the Punky Brewster special episode? I remember it happened, but I don't remember the details.
Details. It was about CPR.
Yeah. I was going to say, Sherry got trapped in the
old school latch refrigerator.
And I've been out there, and they popped the rope in, and they should have taken a thing off. So it was a twofer, actually. It taught the entire country how to do CPR, and there was an exorbitant amount of old refrigerators that went to the trash correctly, and new refrigerators were bought the first 2 weeks after that show. That first week was absolutely insane. At
madness.
You go back and
what
look
was
at
also interesting about that show was that show came up because of a suggestion by a young kid who had suggested, that to bring awareness to CPR and this type of thing. And they brought the kid on either right after it for 30 seconds or right before and introduced him and said, this is why we did this. And this is the kid who suggested. It was interesting.
Oh, yeah. And people want to, if anybody. Yeah, anybody wants to shit on the 80s. The 80s was where, before I get to my number one, we learned about mental illnesses and cerebral palsy. Look at Facts of Life, which is not on my list, but Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
And how, and how she handled her own, she made fun of herself. The shirt that she wore, I've referenced it before. I don't have cerebral palsy, I'm just drunk.
Yeah, but Chris, look at the cartoons, like the end of G.I. Joe and He-Man. There was these lessons of fucking don't put a fucking screwdriver in your face. Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, in today's episode, we saw someone get in trouble, and this is what you should do, and stop, drop, and roll, and then go tell your parents, and, the more you know. Yes, absolutely. What does he give me the finger for? What why they had to start... finger for?
You know why they had to start doing that, right?
Why?
Perm don't like cartoons telling them what to do.
Go ahead, Lynch.
We were a fucking dangerous generation.
We were.
Yes, we were.
I look back at some of the shit I did between the ages of 8 and 18. How did I get here?
My daughter heard stories from one of my childhood friends about we'd make jumps off of some busted-ass plywood and a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah.
And certain things we did, and she looked at us. We were all out to dinner one time.
No
she was
safety
about 13.
apparatus.
Oh, yeah. She says, how are you? She asked us. She says, how are you guys? How are you guys alive?
I have no idea.
I'm like,
actually,
because we're tough.
By the numbers, we are the smallest generation ever.
Mm-hmm.
And by the numbers, the reason for that is this crazy
unrecorded fatalities.
All the weak ones died the fuck off.
That's what I thought.
Literally, it's
unrecorded fatalities.
It's just.
I know we got another show to do at 8, but my friend Billy Androwski and he had his dad was a Nam vet, and he really didn't care what he bought us, and he got us this really cool compound bow to fuck around with in the backyard, and we would shoot targets and shit until Billy got the bright idea. You know what we should do? We should shoot the arrow up in the air and see where it lands. Nothing like in that movie where they played arrow roulette. We're just, let's see where it lands. Not thinking that this could come straight down on our fucking skull and kill us.
Jarts, bitch. That's all I'm going to
say. Oh, yeah, throw the jart up in the air. We had this game.
What a great idea that was.
I think we even played it up until and including high school, where 4 guys stood in some sort of a circle, and you threw the knife down, and you're trying to stretch your buddy out until he can't stand up anymore. And with a knife, we did this. Sometimes with a screwdriver.
We used to take a piece of plywood, just big enough to cover the front of you, and we would huck fucking lawn jarts at each other, and we would catch the jart in the plywood.
Maybe we got good and drilled a bigger piece of wood to it to hold like a handle. But maybe you just grabbed a couple of aluminum trash can lids.
What about the one where you sat in the kiddie pool and freaking put car battery freaking clamps on your nipples and freaking sat through that?
Yeah. No, that was you. That's just
nobody else did that.
My number one is Cheers. I can't beat that. I cannot beat that. But for all the reasons Marsh brought up earlier, I still watch that to this day. It runs on Netflix, and the ones you can't get on Netflix, YouTube has them all. I just shared something the other day of all the 10 best norms of all time.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
that was good.
How's it going, Mr. Peterson? And his lock-in liners?
Yep. And the best one at number 1, and I remembered it, and I was saying while I was watching this video, I hope it's number 1, where Frasier and Lilith had just had the baby, and he's learning to talk, and you brought the baby to the bar. He can't learn to talk in this environment. The door opens. Afternoon, everybody. No! How's it going, Mr. Peterson? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear.
Milk bone underwear. That was one of my favorite ones ever.
Got room for a beer? No, but I'm willing to add on.
Yeah.
Is it still pouring out there, Norm? I was hoping to ask you the same question here.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great fucking show. I got 4 honorable mentions, but you all already brought them up. Different Strokes, Newhart, Perfect Strangers, Three's Company. We're all on my list.
Nice.
This was fun, man. I love laughing with you guys, especially when Herm's wearing half an alpaca on his shoulders.
Come on, knock on my door.
Come
Alf.
knock on my door.
I liked Alf.
Something's waiting for you.
Oh, Alf.
Alf was good.
Alf was good.
I didn't.
They did really good with that, with the kid in the suit and working the puppets, and they did a really good job with that production-wise. It was
The
good.
girl on
They
that show
did.
was cute
They
too.
did.
You legitimately believed that Alf was a true thing on that, like within that.
But that's a testament
very
more to the
easy.
actors.
It was very easy for suspension of disbelief on that.
Yeah, much like the movie Ted. It goes to the
Yes.
actors interacting with nothing, where in Alf's case, somebody in a suit, and then you watch the show. Hey Willie, I got an idea. And
Right.
and try and eat the
Nice.
cat all the time. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
The
I
girl
got
on that
mine.
show was pretty
I had
cute.
an Alf. I had an Alf lunchbox.
Did you? My brother had the Alf,
Yeah.
the doll, the freaking thing.
My nephew had one
I
of
think I
those.
had
Yeah,
one
or
of
my
those, too.
cousin.
I
Sorry,
had one of those.
still does.
Yes.
I've seen it.
You pull the string or push its belly. It said something. I don't know.
Yep.
Whoa,
Hey
right,
Willie, hey Willie.
Hey Willie.
Right.
My
And,
honorable mention
Good.
is going to be Mr. Belvedere.
Nice. I almost
Oh,
put that on
great.
my list.
Yo,
Great
the
show.
letters at the end of the show were the best part.
Yep.
The letter at the end of the show in his journal was the best part. All of that.
Yeah, that was a great show.
We had a kid in, I want to say 7th or 8th grade who had that Jimmy Durante-ish voice, singing voice, and we would ask him on the bus to sing the opening theme, and he would nail it every time.
Streaks on the China. Never mattered before. Who cares?
But Peter could sing that like nobody's bit, and you would swear to God that it was the opening theme to this show.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Good shit.
I
like
forgot.
that show a lot.
I should have added to my list just the 10 of us, which I thought was
Oh, just
severely
10 of us. That was a
underrated
spin-off of
sitcom.
Growing Pains. Yep.
Yes, it
Bill
was.
Finger Bake.
And it had
Yeah.
all the hot chicks, all of them.
Oh, yeah. Did Jamie Lunar was freaking unbelievable. I remember that.
Oh, the blonde one was
what's
hot.
her-
Heather Langenkamp
That was
unmodded
Brooke
herself for
Dice.
that show.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked her.
Brooke Dice.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
Herm, I'll see you in a half hour. I got to go rub one out before Speedway.
Word.
Yeah, the chick
Anybody else
from,
got honorable?
Nightmare on Elm Street, Heather Langenkamp.
I got to get my
Yeah.
I got to get my Jamie Lunar Google search on.
Oh, Lord.
She was amazing. And when she went on to do what was it? The show that I hated but I'd watch because she was on it. Was that 90210 or Melrose
Savannah.
Gimmick? I don't know. Could have been. All I know is she was hot in that show.
I don't know. I never.
Shoot.
I have-
didn't
I have
really
never
watch
watched.
Melrose, but I did watch Melrose. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never watched an
Melrose
episode of 90210 ever. Not even
I
by
did.
accident.
I did.
I did one time by accident because, well, I was getting some when it was over because that was her favorite show.
Okay.
Can we just finish the episode? Why not?
Yeah.
I'll
Hurry
keep Mr. Happy semi-happy while you're watching fucking Melrose or 90210 or whatever the fuck.
9021 Below.
Was that Brenda? No, Brenda's the bitchy one. This is the blonde girl.
Oh, that was Kelly, Jenny Girth.
Yes.
Girth.
And the
Garth
chick that was
Girth.
15 years older than everybody but looked
Gabriel
25.
Gutierrez
She
is
was hot.
Andrea Zuckerman.
Oh,
Yep.
she was hot.
She was. She had her own talk show for a little bit.
Did
Way
she
a little
really?
bit. Yeah.
I'd have gone on it.
Fucking
I'd have
seen
lied.
the
You know, I'm pregnant with Herm's baby next on Gabriella Gimmick Schnabitz.
movie. Mhm. Yep.
Coming up next, Butt Babies.
But babies on serial killers who want to adopt on the next Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Al Capone.
I'm here to-
Al Capone's Vault.
We're still looking.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Can we go to commercial here?
We're still looking.
Where's the prop
freaking Andrew
suitcase?
Dice Clay did a great bit on that.
Yeah, we're still fucking looking.
Geraldo.
Somebody come up with something fun for next week too. I'm gonna have some more fun. Let's laugh. Let's laugh through the first month of 2025. Got more to
Yeah,
laugh
please.
at on the 20th.
We're gonna need something for that one.
Things in society that piss you off.
I think we've
Pet
done that
peeves.
before, but we'll pet peeves. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Pet peeve.
All right.
Wouldn't that be
The
things
Matt
in
Marsh
society
Show.
that piss you off?
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start. Actually, I already started a list, so we're good.
All right, I'll start mine
I already have
tomorrow.
a million.
I don't have many. I don't bitch about a lot.
You know what really grinds my gears?
It's gonna be the Get Off My Lawn episode.
There it is. Yep. Play the music at the beginning.
I'm old. I'm tired. Get off my lawn.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Night, fellas.
Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn.
Oh no, that's the intro.
That's the open.
We're starting over.
We're gonna start over. We're gonna hit it. From
we just went back in time.
We'll try the outro.
Back in
try the outro. At least I can hear the outro.
Back in time.
I don't get to hear the intro.
Okay, we'll try something new. Wow.
Was that right?
Hi, I'm here to turn on the pleasure machine. That's okay. The TV works fine. Butthead put new batteries in the remote.
I broke my sixth doll.
Is that a Ryobi?
Yeah, right up her
ass.
ass.
Ryobi up your butt.
Girls. Good night.